If you've ever thought the first date went great just to get ghosted, chances are you made one big mistake. And once you fix it, the chances of you getting the girl go up dramatically. So there was this one time I took a girl on a date back during, I believe it was my junior year of high school. I picked her up, got to her house, was taking her to go see a movie, which terrible idea in the first place. Never take a girl to go see a movie. But the whole time we were just sat there. I wasn't like making contact with her. We were just sat there just like watching the movie. We were seeing a Star Wars movie, so I was super excited. But she was just sat there like awkwardly, not really caring. Then we got to the end of the date. I dropped her off, never made a move, didn't go in for a kiss, and I thought the date went well, right? Because we were talking a bit, chatting a bit. But I texted her after the date and asked, hey, when are you free to go out again? And she just said, oh, honestly, I just kind of see you as a friend. So I was hurt, right? This moment really sucked, but I learned there was one huge mistake I made, one area where I went wrong, that if you fix this and you just do this one thing that you've probably not really done much before, I guarantee you will have much more success with going on first dates. And that one thing is being able to escalate and make a move. Now, I know what you might be saying. Oh, but what if I go in for the kiss? What if I make a move and she doesn't want to go for it? That'll be really awkward. Bro, you living in this scarcity mindset all the time is the reason why you're struggling with women. You're always sat here worried about the worst case scenario. Oh, what if things don't work out? Oh, what if I make a move and I get rejected? Who cares? Do you think that's what the best version of you is saying? Do you think the best version of you is always sitting here going, what if I fail? What if I make a mistake? No. Because when you live in this scarcity mindset, where you're so scared to go for what you want just because you don't want to fail, that's exactly what's going to keep you from succeeding. Because that mindset of scarcity shows a complete lack of confidence in yourself. Do you think that version of you who's confident, or maybe that guy that you know who women seem to like, do you think that he goes on a date and just treats her like a friend the whole time and never makes a move? No, he makes a move. And that's exactly why that guy gets the girl, why they want to be with him, but they don't want to be with you. Because he's not sitting here thinking, oh, what if I fail? What if I make a mistake? No, he's just confidently being his best self, making a move, and they actually go for it. And another way you got to change the way you think about this is when you don't make a move, it shows a huge lack of confidence. It shows that you're unsure of yourself. Because do you think the guy who was sure of himself, would he be sitting here not making a move, second guessing himself, letting her make a move first? No. The man who is sure of himself would just go in for it, would just make the move. So now you're saying, okay, well, how do I actually escalate and go to make a move? So we're gonna get into kind of some weirdly like specific tactics and tips right here. So it might sound a little awkward, but it'll sound awkward, but I'm just trying to help you out. So when you're on a date with a girl, right? The first thing you have to have is some emotional intelligence. You have to be able to read the vibe. Are things going well? Is she interested, right? The first thing you can look at is her body language. When you're sat there with her, is she engaging with you? Is she asking you questions? Is she talking to you? Is she making eye contact, right? That's the first thing to look at. If she has good body language, she's excited, she's making conversation with you, she's putting in an effort, there's a good chance that she would be open to you making a move. If she's kind of like facing away from you, not really looking at you, seems disinterested, okay, she might just be shy. That could be what it is, or she's just not into you. So that's when you have to be a little more weary of whether or not you make a move. Now, the next thing you can look at, okay, and the next way you can kind of go about this is you have to start off slow. So you don't just immediately do nothing, not make any move the whole day, and then go in for a kiss at the end. Because it's like you're going from 0 to 100 super fast, and that's going to completely shock her. So Instead, what you do is you slowly escalate, right? The second you see her, when you first go in to greet her, you go in for a hug, right? Not like a huge bear hug or anything, just a little side hug, right? Just to break the contact barrier. Because I promise you, once you break that contact barrier, it makes things so much easier moving forward. Then maybe later on, when you're going on the date, you're walking on the sidewalk and she's kind of walking close to you. So, you reach for her hand, see if she's receptive to that. Then if she's receptive to that, okay, now you know that she's a little more, open to contact. And if she's not receptive to it, right, that's when you just have to, be okay with it, not get weirded out, right? Because a lot of guys are like scared of making a move and then being labeled a weirdo or something because she's not into it. But here's the way I like to think about this, okay? When you make a move, you really have no way of knowing whether or not she's gonna go for it and be into it. So you always kind of run that risk of things being potentially a little bit awkward. But as long as you go to make a move and you're not like weird about it, right? If she rejects it, you just kind of move on and just pretend like nothing happened and you just, keep the conversation going. It's not going to be that weird, right? It only gets weird if you go to make a move and like she's not receptive to it and you keep on trying to do it right now. Yeah, okay, you're being a weirdo, you're being a creep. But like if you go in to hold her hand or you go in for a hug or you go in for a kiss, and she's just not receptive to it and you just move on and just act like nothing happened and just maybe she's shy or maybe she's just not ready, right? That's not that weird. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just kind of you going for something and her not being open to it. Okay, so that's the first thing you got to do. Just slowly escalate. Then the next thing I would recommend doing at the end of the date is called the kiss test. Now, so many guys are so scared to go in for a kiss after the first date because they think like, oh, what if she doesn't go for it? What if she rejects me? But right, we can't live in that scarcity mindset like we talked about earlier. And also, when you go in for the kiss, it shows confidence, which is going to make her like you more, which is going to make her want to go on another date with you. So the very act of you going in for the kiss and at least trying to go for it displays confidence and makes it more likely the girl will actually want to be with you. But if you don't make a move, if you don't go for it, she's going to sit there and think, right, especially if she wanted to, but you just didn't make the move, she's going to sit here and go, wow, yeah, that guy really doesn't have any confidence. Like, I would have wanted to, escalate and go for that, but he just didn't want to. Like, that's kind of weird and that's kind of weak, right? It makes you look like, kind of a beta male, for if I'm being completely honest. That's probably a good way to describe it. So, yeah, you just got to go for the kiss. You just got to go for it and just not care about what happens because it shows confidence, okay? And the way you do this right now, we're getting like weirdly kind of specific, is you lean in about 70%, right? You don't go all the way, right? You don't like smother her. You just go in about 70%. Then you let her, finish it off, because that way it's not like you're forcing yourself onto her or anything. You're just going for it, seeing if she's receptive to it. Then she'll either go for it or she won't. And now you're saying, oh, but what if she doesn't go for it? That'd be really awkward. So here's the way you can think about it. The reason I call it the kiss test is because it sort of reveals her interest level in a way. If you go for the kiss and she goes for it, then, okay, she's probably into you and she'd be open to going on another date, right? She's a girl who you should continue to invest your time and going on dates with because she probably likes you. But if you go in for the kiss and she rejects you, she doesn't really want to go for it. One, maybe she just wasn't ready. And in that scenario, okay, just take her on a couple more dates, right? See how it goes. And, maybe she likes you, she just wasn't ready. Or if she doesn't go for it and, it's quite obvious she wasn't into you, then you just know, okay, she's not into me, but at least I can move on. And what I want you to finish off this video with is you got to stop living your life in a way where you're so scared of consequences, right? Where you're so scared of trying things out. Because if you go for it and you fail, well, now you at least know she's not into you, right? You at least know, like, okay, she doesn't like me and I failed, but that's okay. I'll just move on and get better next time. But what's so much worse than going to make a move and her not going for it, right? Getting rejected, is when you don't even try. When you look back on the date and you say, you know what? I didn't even try to make a move. I didn't even try to escalate. And that's why you get ghosted. That feeling of not even trying and then showing low confidence and her not being into you is so much worse than actually getting rejected, right? You never want to live life with regret. You never want to live life in a way where you say that, I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have tried. And, I know we're talking about dating, but this applies to all aspects of life. Always be going for what you want. Never be the guy who sits here and wishes he would have tried more, who wishes he would have done something. Be the guy who tries everything he can, who goes for what he wants, and who fails, right? No one who was ever the best at what they did never failed. Tiger Woods missed a lot of golf shots. Tom Brady threw a lot of interceptions. Babe Ruth struck out a lot. Michael Jordan missed a lot of jump shots. But they kept on trying. They kept on persevering. But the ones who fail, the ones who don't succeed in life, who aren't the greats, are the ones who beat themselves up, who say, oh, that girl didn't like me, so I'm just going to give up on dating. I'm just going to stop dating, right? It's the baseball player who strikes out and goes, oh, I suck at baseball. It's the basketball player who misses a jump shot and then gets low confidence because he missed his shot. Don't do that. Keep a level head and just keep getting better every time. And bro, I promise you, if you do that, you will have so much more success with your dating life, okay? But if you're always living in a scarcity mindset and you don't go for what you want, then you will fail. But if you have an abundance mindset, you go for what you want with a girl, you escalate, you make a move, right? And it's going to be awkward the first few times. It's going to, but once you try and you get better, you'll break that barrier and you'll be much more successful with women. But if you're like younger me and you're struggling a bit with your dating life, maybe you're not getting a lot of attention from women right now, or you are getting attention from women, but the dates just aren't going well, feel free to book a free call with me in the link in the description. And I'd love to chat with you, see if you'd be a good fit for the coaching, and if you are, get you help achieving the dating results that you want. So with all that being said, I'll see you for the next video. See you, bro.